Today we're going to be reviewing a light kit from Linco Lighting. Welcome to Cinetips.
Adjust the focus until the picture is sharp. Now adjust the sound.
This episode is made possible by CPM Film Tools, your lightweight solution for caging the beast. LCD Viewfinder, the essential accessory for DSLR video. Lightcraft Workshop, the perfect tools to create the perfect image. Manhattan LCD, the affordable solution for high-definition monitoring. GZCam.com, your source for gear reviews, do-it-yourself video, and photography projects.
Hi, this is Tony Reale from NextWaveDV, and today we're going to be reviewing a new light kit from Linco Lighting. Now, typically we do gear reviews on NextWaveDV, but because we're reviewing a light, we're going to be doing this on Cinetips. Joined here with Tony Mana, DP extraordinaire. How you doing, Tony?
I'm pretty good, and
awesome.
You?
Good, good. All right, let's get started. This light kit, they actually sent me two, so we're actually using one right now, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But this is the Flora light by itself. It's got a couple unique features to it, and we'll talk about that. But the design is for six 65-watt CFL bulbs. This is a ceramic base, so it's designed to handle heat and dissipate heat very well so that you don't end up burning things up in bad ways. So that's the design. The stands it comes with, this is, like I said, the two light kits, so there's two stands that fit in here. The bag's nice. I actually was kind of impressed. It actually has two separate compartments. It's got this little liner in here so that the stands don't scratch against each other, which is always a nice feature. You can have professional looking stands. As far as stands go, I actually like this design. It's fairly compact, lightweight. Definitely, I mean, there's plastic knobs around, and it's definitely not a C stand. But when you look at small, compact, lightweight light stands, I would say this is one of the better designs I've seen. So there is the stand for the Flora light, and then we just attach the light on there. Now, like I said, the fixture is ceramic, but a lot of these knobs are plastic, so they may, they could break potentially. They seem, firm for attaching, but I haven't used this over a long period of time, so I don't know how long it would last. Now, one of the big things that they claim is this has the fastest softbox in the West. This is the softbox design. So you've got it, it's compacted, and this actually has a bag that it fits in. And then the softbox is supposed to pop open. Let's see if I can do it. And
it's an umbrella
like
design.
Umbrella design, yeah. So a very quick assembly, and then it will go on like so. You want to give me a hand, Tony?
Do that.
So we'll put that in there, and then actually we'll tilt this around so you guys can see.
There you go.
There's two screw knobs back here. One, make sure it's in there all the way. I don't think we're in all the way. Okay, there we go. So this one screws on, tightens. This one also screws on and tightens. So now this should be firm on there. In theory, not going anywhere. And so that's the softbox design. So that's the speed softbox. Now, the only issue for speed, I should say, is that you still have to screw in these 6 compact fluorescent bulbs. So this is designed to be quick. This kind of adds a little bit to your time. Not a ton, obviously, but just an extra couple steps. The other problem is that these come with nice little cardboard boxes with foam around them, which obviously is going to keep them safe, but that actually adds to your space. So this case right here fits the Flora lights, 2 of the Flora lights, and 2 of the soft boxes. But I had to keep the cardboard box that the bulbs came in, so that was kind of like a larger box in order to cart the lights around. All right, first up we have actually a Kino Flow 4 bank right here. And this would be the higher end fluorescent lights that you'd
Pretty
see
much
on
the
most
standard of the
movies,
industry.
So this is a great light to test it about. This is also many times the cost of the Flora light.
Well, we're going to check out the output with a light meter. I set up the light meter at 24 frames per second and 400 ISO. And we have a line here. We're going to just take a perfect reading of the Kino to see the level at that distance. And we get a perfect 5.6. This is a 4-band Kino. It's set up horizontally. No diffusion at all, or a grid, on the in front of the light. It's just clean Kino flow tubes. Now, if you want to go and turn those off, I'm going to move at the same exact distance. In fact, you might want to move that back. See the stand? There you go. That's about the same distance. Now, this light is giving us 5.68, almost one stop brighter than the Kino flow.
So the Flora is giving us a slightly brighter light output. And why would you say that is, Tony? Is it?
Well, a lot of it is the tubes themselves, but also they're aided by the design of the umbrella reflector that's actually basically collecting all the light in a larger area around, like a dish, on an umbrella, and then basically bouncing it back. So it's multiplying the lumens of the actual tubes. The Kino design is basically the tubes by themselves. They don't have any silver reflector behind them, and they don't have any, even behind the tubes I'm talking about, and plus they don't have an additional surface that reflects. This light, when you see it, has the tubes, but has an incredible amount of area here that it becomes light itself because it's silver. So it's a very good design for the light to be more efficient.
All right, here we got some diffusion. This is actually a piece of diffusion that comes with the Softbox. So we're going to go ahead and attach that real quick.
And we didn't talk about this, but while Tony adds the diffusion, I can mention that the quality of the fluorescence without the diffusion seemed to me pretty similar. Maybe a little harsher on this, on the Flora, a little harsher. The tubes of the Kino are known for being soft all by themselves.
But now with the diffusion, you're getting quite a bit of soft light now.
Yes.
And this is very, very large and soft source.
Yeah. And often we put silk in front of our Kinos too, especially when doing interviews, to achieve a look similar to this.
So let's see what the light output is with the silk on there.
With the silk in there. .65. So the silk cut's only about a half a stop.
All right, one thing we wanted to point out too is that there is a noticeable color balance difference between the bulbs that come with the Flora light and the Kino flows, which are trusted to be more of a standard.
Yeah, these are rated at 5500 K, which is true daylight. And if I'm going to turn on so you guys can see the difference and how much warmer the Flora light is.
So the Kino flow is giving off a much cooler light than the Flora. These are claimed to be around 5500, and the Kinos are claimed to be around 5600. And there looks to be much larger shift than that, that these are possibly in the lower 5s or upper 4000 Kelvin range, whereas the Kinos are trusted to be a little bit more. So that's not necessarily a bad thing. A lot of people, I know, Tony, sometimes you'll add a tungsten bulb to your Kinos to get a warmer light.
I usually do that, or I'll just gel them and then to add warmth. It's a matter of knowing if you're starting off with just a perfect daylight correction. It's always nice to have that as a standard, and then know where you're landing, and you can add or subtract filters to it.
Right now we are shooting at 1000 shutter speed to demonstrate the banding issue that sometimes happens with fluorescent lights. Depending on how high speed the ballast is, the slower the ballast, the more banding you're going to get. This is actually with the Kino, and we do notice that there is some banding going on. It's not a ton, but it is noticeable. So let's turn the ISO down so it's a little more exaggerated. You can see in the white the banding that's happening with the Kino. All right, so Josh, you can go and turn it off. We'll switch to the Flora. And the Flora is giving off. Now we can also notice that the color temperature is going to be a lot greener with the Flora. It's more exaggerated right now. And we are getting that banding. It's not as pronounced as with the Kino. We're still at 1000 shutter speed, but it is noticeable. So we're going to turn the Kino off, or the Flora off. We're going to switch to a generic Chinese brand 4-bank fluorescent. This light is very popular online. It's relatively inexpensive, slightly cheaper than the Flora, but as you can see, we're getting huge amounts of banding from this light. So this one's probably the worst banding out there.
Plus it's green. It's a very green
greener, yes.
color.
So this is that 4-bank fluorescent that we're trying. This is a, like I said, a generic Chinese-made light. These are really nice for the size that they are. These are much faster to set up than the Flora light, because you're literally, this is your light. It's got a little handle, and it's a little cheaper, almost the same price as the Flora, but the output is much smaller, much lower, and obviously if you're trying to do a different shutter speed for either for dramatic effects, slow motion, whatever, this light's going to be not usable because you need to go at the same shutter speed as the electricity in your region. So in USA it's typically 60 kilohertz, and in the UK, Europe, it's around 50 kilohertz. So you have to go at the same shutter speed as that, and you reduce that banding so it doesn't show up. The Flora and the Kino were showing up a lot less, and so I would say the Flora is usable at different shutter speeds if you needed to get that effect. So that would be one additional plus for the Flora.
This, well, seems, you know, pretty much a comfy feature. I really think it's unnecessary because when it comes time to adjust the light, you completely lose control of this thing. This thing just falls, and you're lucky if you can bring it up without having to do something like this. So this, to me, frankly, is unnecessary. And having it like this, you gain all the control back again. So unless if they really want to have that comfort thing, which I really, it's unnecessary, but if they want to do that, they should have some material that is glued in place, and
either
it doesn't
put adhesive on there or something. Yeah.
You don't need this kind of thing going. One thing I really liked about the design is the umbrella design for the softbox has double, how do you call this, Tony?
The metal supports?
The metal supports, or they're not rods, but they're like like an umbrella,
framework,
you know, the ribs of an umbrella. Mm-hmm. It has double ribs on each one, and that's one of the things that I never liked umbrellas about. They sometimes break and they're loose. So this particular feature I find very, very good. Overall construction, it's very lightweight, and so I have to be honest, I mean, I'm used to heavier duty lights that are, you know, handled by numerous crews and put to the test. For somebody that's doing more prosumer work or professional, but a lightweight light, it's a pretty good fixture, I think. The second thing that I really find a little objectionable is the quality of the knobs here. I think a little could be done with a little bit of quality knobs. I think while they're working fine right now, this is something that's probably going to go. Probably the first things to go will be these knobs on the light on the stands here. This one seems pretty good. You have a nice adjustment of the light right there, and looks durable. And I like this knob a lot. This knob, I don't know if you can make a close-up here later, but it has a pretty nice feel to it, and you can have a nice grip to it. But again, this is not something I would over-tighten. And a lot of times grips grab those things. That's why they're called grips. They just grab them and over-tighten them, and this light will have to be babied a little more. But it has got a nice, strong thing, and it doesn't slip. Once you put it in a spot, it stays there. So I think it's a pretty good design. Can I enter?
You can enter, yes.
As you enter, and then I can just do an entrance.
You were there before, so you're going to disappear. And
then...
All right.